appreciate it. A year ago, I never thought that I would, number one, write a book, and number two, that I would have this many people to celebrate with. So I was telling my husband that a year ago, if I had invited people, I would maybe have 3 people get there. And so now I know a lot of you think that I'm like, this is like my norm. It's not my norm. So it's really been just the last year, and so I really appreciate you guys coming. I know that it's a weekday, everyone has things to go, the weather is awesome. So I appreciate you coming and supporting me. It definitely was a big chance. So this is why I gave you guys these keys with different quotes. There's some more here, and I have more if you want to take some to a friend or whatnot. All the quotes about the keys are taking a chance, prioritizing yourself, making yourself number one, and that's kind of what you see in the book. So that's why I gave you that, and you can always rip off the tag, and then the key is a keychain and also a bottle opener. So, I was going to give you pens, but I figure a bottle opener for alcohol is better. So you also had a red little scroll, if you will, on your table setting. So all of you have a different passage from the book, just to kind of see if you're interested. And you can exchange if you want. They're all different, so no one here has the same passage from the book. So you can take a look at that if you want. And exchange if you want as well. Oh, I stole Meryl's. Sorry. Thanks. So a lot of you have asked me what led me to write, and I'm not a creative writer by nature, but I'm a big book nerd, as most of you know in here, and half of my book club is here. So, yes, thank you. So a lot of the book sites led me to writing sites, and I started reading about it, and I didn't know that people, call me crazy, could publish on Amazon the way that anyone could publish on Wikipedia. And so I started learning about that process, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I started reading about people that were publishing their memoirs and their own experience. And I thought that was really cool. So my book, 8 Words, was prompted by a personal experience while I was adopting my son, and I turned it into fiction. That was very hard for me because it felt like it was my chance to tell a truth. And so if I turned it into fiction, it wasn't telling the truth, right? But I started doing some research and read a lot about writing, and I went to writing workshops and met some really great people, like my friend Jill, who's here, so thank you. And she's going to be writing a memoir too. I don't have her skill set, so I had to turn it into fiction. And I at first thought it felt like not telling my truth, and it turned into being very powerful to change what really happened versus what I wanted to happen. So at first it was frustrating, and then I found it very powerful. And in my research, I wanted to make it more marketable to readers, so I turned it into a psychological thriller. I learned everything along the way. I went to writing groups, I went to different things to help me. I read a lot of books about marketing and things like that. I didn't know anything about that, so I started that, and I just started to see everything as a step to grow myself and keep myself entertained. My husband travels a lot, and so I thought this will be a healthy thing to do. And it actually turned out to be very, very, it was wonderful. And I enjoyed every step. I was only stressed maybe 4 or 5 days. My husband might disagree. But it was really great, and I enjoyed the whole process along the way. So I just tried to learn about every aspect of it and see every part as a mini project. So I never really anticipated to publish it. I was just going to print the Microsoft Word document and have it out almost like a diary. But then I just kept being fascinated by the process, and so I kept doing it. It was very therapeutic for me because it was based on a personal event that I think I still needed to come to terms with. So I did turn it into fiction, and so I would say the first part of the book that you read, maybe the first quarter, is very accurate to what happened, how I met my son, and how I was blessed to have him in my life, and the challenges that we face, but the blessing that he's become. If I could have a takeaway from the book, one of the things is every family is not traditional. You know, we all represent that, and we all have a lot of wonderful people here that have taken on different responsibilities and things like that, and I've been very very blessed to have my two sons, the one that's here and the one that I see tomorrow. Our two sons are going to meet tomorrow, and we're very, very excited about that. And it's a big blessing. Another takeaway is that no matter what you're going through in life, when everything is against you, and I've been in that position, you fight for yourself. And it's not selfish, it's survival. So I think a lot of us, especially, no offense, gentlemen, that have been dragged here, as not just you, everyone here, including my husband. I think as women, we try to always say our kids are first, our families, whatever, and I've learned, no, I'm first. Because if I'm complete, I can be a better mom, I can be a better wife, I can be better to my friends, I can be better to everyone. And that was a really hard lesson for me. And it took a really long time, and I still work on it. But I know that if I'm a better me, I'm a better mother, I'm a better wife, I'm a better friend, and that was a really hard lesson. So the main character in the book really learns that lesson. The other thing that would be a great takeaway is mental illness. So 3 of the characters in the book experience mental illness. It's all right now. You're not going to be in trouble. It's all right. No, it's okay. Yeah, so we know what issues. So 3 of the characters in the book have experiences with mental illness to varying degrees, to mild to very severe. And one of the things that I wanted to show is not just what mental illness is, but how the families experience that. And one of the things that I love about the last few years is we've come a long way, and I think understanding anxiety and depression, every famous person has it, and they all talk about it, and that's great. But I would like us to see, I would like to see us make more strides towards understanding things like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, and that's something that's affected my family. And the other thing that I wanted to show in the book is that yes, that person is suffering with that mental illness, and it usually is not their choice, but the family struggles as well. And nobody wants to say, when you're taking care of someone that's sick, when you're taking care of someone that has a great need, when you're taking care of someone that's mentally ill, it is a burden, and it is hard, and it sucks, and you're exhausted, and that's okay. That's okay, and I wish we had that conversation, that it's okay to say, I'm exhausted doing that, but I'm gonna do it because I love them and I'm there for them. And it's okay to be both. It's okay to say I'm taking care of them 7 days a week, and I need 1 day to take care of myself and go out for wine with my girls or go with my boys and just watch a movie. So I hope that our country gets to that stage, and I would love for that to be a takeaway. But at the end of the day, if it's even just a few days of entertainment, I'm okay with that too, because that's how I read. So thank you for coming, and thank you for the support, and I appreciate you being here.